Good evening. Welcome to the Voice of Harrisburg. You've tuned into the Voice of Harrisburg for the week of August the 29th, 2014. I'm your host, Will Scoggins, and after a minute or two of technical difficulties, which we may or may not have overcome, we're going to attempt to have a show tonight, which looks like we're not going to have not going to be we're losing our connection to ustream in a matter of seconds, so we're not even going to try that tonight. We're just going to record it, and we're going to go ahead and you can listen to it later on YouTube, and that's where we're going to do it from now on. Sorry about that, folks. Anyway, just to keep things light and moving along. You've tuned in to an hour or so of pulchritude and despair. We're running a couple minutes late, but we don't have any big to-do to be on time. Woo, we can not be on time. Cool. We've got a lot of cool music tonight. Let's see. Let's start out with Apache Tomcat. Let's see. One of their songs here. I just got a new one. Let me check and be sure. No, that was one from last week. Let's check this week. Let's check that one right there. Yeah, here we go. Apache Tomcat, Rockin' in the Jungle.
Anyway, we will now head into the jungle and see what we can find. Anyway,
I got a last one for you guys. It's called The End of the Ride. It's from the CD.
Okay, that was Twin Guns, and the song was End of the Ride. And before that, we heard Rockin' in the Jungle by Apache Tomcat. And you're listening to the Voice of Harrisburg, and I'm your host, Will Scoggins, and you've tuned in for another at least an hour of pulchritude and despair on this Saturday night. What are we talking about this week? I don't know. Let's see. The Ernest T. Bastard show was last night at Mad Studio, and if you weren't there, you missed it. Let's see. Some pretty cool shots from last night. I'll just show you one or two of them. Here's one. I didn't change that audio. There we go. I need to change the audio on each one of these. There's the Ernest T. Bastards kicking it old style. And we got a few pictures of them from the show at Mad Studio in downtown Augusta, Georgia. And let's see, we had a really good show and a really good time. Played open for a guy from Fountain Inn, South Carolina. I think he's from Fountain Inn's what he's saying on, at least that's what it says on Reverb Nation. Called John the Revelator, and he was just pretty cool. Dirty old messed up blues, and anyway, I want to thank my friend John Lester for coming down last night, driving down from Athens to see the Bastards. I hope we lived up to, hope we lived up to my description of the band. I hope we didn't disappoint, and we enjoyed having everybody come out. And we will be out again on this Friday at first Friday, September the 5th, around 6:30 in the evening, in front of Cyclotronic Record Store, 829 and a half Broad Street. And we'll be outside in front of the building if it don't rain and the creeks don't rise. And we'll be playing out there for you probably about 2 sets. And then you need to come see us on September 25th. We will be playing with the Woggles at Sky City. We're opening for them, which is going to be really big. That's a big deal for me. We get to open for the Woggles, and then as far as the rest of the year goes, we're gonna have to see. We got a date coming up in January at Stillwater, so we'll see what happens between now and then. And we probably need to get to the studio and do some work, a lot of work. You know, like what I've been doing lately, just working, writing songs and stuff. And so, anywho, let's try some. I got this Billy Childish off here. I got this song, John the Revelator. This is for John the Revelator. So here it is, Billy Childish.
Well, tell me who's there riding? John the Revelator. Who's there riding? John the Revelator. Who's there riding? John the Revelator wrote the book of the 7 seals. Oh, tell me who's there riding? John the Revelator. Who's there riding? John the Revelator. Tell me who's there riding? John the Revelator wrote the book of the 7 seals. Well, Jesus was never the Son of God, but he never lied. He said, the Spirit of God in every man reside. Now tell me, who's there riding? John the Revelator. Who's there riding? John the Revelator. Tell me, who's there riding? John the Revelator wrote the book of the 7 seals. Well, Jesus arose one Sunday morn, Mary and Mark did see. He said, go, meet my apostles down in Galilee. Now tell me, who's there riding? John the Revelator. Who's there riding? John the Revelator. Tell me, who's there riding? John the Revelator. He wrote the book of the 7 seals. Now tell me, who's there riding? John the Revelator. Who's there riding? John the Revelator. Tell me, who's there riding? John the Revelator. He wrote the book of the 7 seals. Well, tell me, who's there riding? John the Revelator. Who's there riding? John the Revelator. Who's there riding? John the Revelator wrote.
Okay, that song was called, the band was called D.A. Dad, and the song was called Once Used Bathing Suit. And before that, we heard from Billy Childish. The song was called John the Revelator. And you're listening to the Voice of Harrisburg, and I'm your host, Will Scoggins, and we are moving out here in our hour of pulchritude and despair. I think we're in 18 minutes worth here. Me and John Lester were sitting around yesterday at the Metro talking about various things, and he asked me, had Augusta, the town, ever had a college radio station? And technically, yes, we do have a college radio station. We do have a radio station that is an adjunct of the college and is run by the college. And yes, in that sense, it is a college radio station. But in the other connotation of a college radio station, and does it play, compare I'm not sure what call letters it's using these days. WAUG? No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what college station up here is using. But compare it to one at Augusta State in connotation to WUOG, and it's not a college station, because the one at Augusta State, if it's still in what it was when I was in there, they only can play classical music. And I got to thinking about it. Well, let me back off that point for a second. When I was at Augusta State so many years ago, I actually tried to be a DJ at whatever station it was. I forgot what they call it then. And I was told by the music department ran it, and they said you were only going to play classical music, period. You're not going to play jazz. You're not going to play rock and roll. You're not going to play country music. You will only play music that we define as, what we tell you to play. And so and I'm sure that's still what's going on up there, or else we would have, a rocking station like WUOG or WARS, or the ones that were hooked up to the colleges in Atlanta or Athens. And of course Augusta's not going to have that. And I got thinking about it. I took it one step further, and I'm not trying to blow my own horn, but I should. This station, this little rinky-dink thing here, podcast of mine, is the closest thing Augusta has ever had to a college radio station. It's the closest thing we've had to a college radio station. It's the closest thing we've had to pirate radio. It's the closest thing we've got to underground. It's the closest thing, and it's totally freeform. So the Voice of Harrisburg is it. And that's not a brag. That is not a brag. If I had access to even old outdated equipment where I could broadcast on say an AM band, if I could get a hold of something and refurbish it, we might be talking about expanding here. But I'm not talking about expanding yet. But this is it, folks. The Voice of Harrisburg is your freeform station, man. And right on. Right on, right on, right on, right on. I mean, we have our ups and downs here. We're not always on the air, but we try to maintain. Anyway, let's hear from let's see, I want to hear from Voodoo. What's the name of this thing called? This is Voodoo Puppets Electric Chair Blues. Sounds cool to me.
Another night in a cell, another sign on the wall. A night happy to talk, but there's no one to call. Alone in a cage, just roaches and rats. I smoke on the floor and I wait for my death. I got nothing to do, I got nothing to lose. I sit in the darkness and sing this electric chair blues. They will kill me tomorrow, but I feel so well. Tonight my neighbor went away in the hell. The skunk sucking boss at Harrisburg's reward, cracking up bones and boiling up blood. I got nothing to do, I got nothing to lose. I sit in the darkness and sing this electric chair blues. Rock on! On the top of my head, they ask would you brave, I say enough my soul. I say fuck you punks, put a tumblers on. Cause I got nothing to do, I got nothing to lose. I sit in the darkness and sing this electric chair blues.
Song is for someone. Why did he chase me down like that? His phone is not broken. His wife uses it always to call the cops when he's acting like an asshole. He uses it all the time too, but he just leaves me messages. Silence, silence, hang-ups, silence, hang-ups. He can't call from there. He just can't call from there. Why can't he fuck off and die? Why can't he fuck off and die? Just fuck off and die. He can't call from there. He can't call from there. He can't call from there. You just go away. Rip your phone out of the wall. Just fuck off and die. say I would. He lives on Charles Street, and he drinks too much. Meets people by accident rather than design. That time on the swings, see, that was the thing. That time on the swings, well, that was the thing. It was heaven. It was heaven. Why does he show you the Bible and his fist at the same time? Ask him that. There ain't no playgrounds here. There ain't no playgrounds here. Ask him that. There ain't no playgrounds here. Ask him that. He can't call from there. He can't call from there. Ask him that. Okay, that was the last song you heard. There was "He Can't Call From There" by Willie and the Hand Factory. Let's see. The other song was Voodoo Puppets. Voodoo Puppets, Electric Chair Blues. And all of this will be, you'll be tested on this later on in the week, kids. So you better study now. You just better study, right? You got that? You better study. Wow, that's cool right there. Wow. Neat shit you can do with pencils. You can play with pencils and shit. Okay, let's see. You're listening to the Voice of Harrisburg, and I'm your host, Will Scoggins, and you've tuned in for another round of pulchritude and despair. And we're the only voice of sanity in this sea of stupidity that is this town. Let's see. I got to thinking. I heard of somebody. I knew somebody, a friend of mine the other day, told me they might have to go on food stamps. And I got kind of distressed about that, because this person had worked hard all their lives, and they kind of had, when they were kind of healthy, and they had some bad luck and got unhealthy and everything. And when they were healthy and making money and everything, they voted for Ronald Reagan, and voted Republican because they wanted to get one of the things this person wanted to see was they didn't think people wanted to be on, all these people should be on, they thought a lot of people were on welfare that shouldn't be on welfare. And I got thinking about that, and I remembered that all through my life I've heard all this crap about people that's been on welfare, and it's an intergenerational thing, and there's people down there that have babies that just to get a check. And I just think that's bullshit. I think it's just the biggest bunch of bullshit that there is. And I was remembering something that I heard. This thing has been erroneously credited to Ronald Reagan, and I don't think it's fair to put it on him. But it was during his tenure, I think. And I looked it up. It was the story of the welfare queen. And the welfare queen was something that it's a story that passed around. It's been around since during his 76 campaign, Ronald Reagan would tell a story of a woman from Chicago's South Side who was arrested for welfare fraud. Okay, so he did use a story, and he told something about her having 80 names and 30 addresses and 12 social security cards, and and she made $150,000 of cash-free, tax-free income. Tax-free income. Okay. So the Washington Post reported that Linda Taylor may have been the woman who inspired Reagan's story. She was known as the welfare queen, as she was credited in taking more than $150,000 a year in welfare benefits. I'm reading this off of Wikipedia, which may or may not be a great source, but it's convenient. Police detectives allege she had 26 aliases, addresses in more than 30 locations in and around Chicago, owned a portfolio of stocks and bonds, drove a Cadillac, a Lincoln, a Chevy wagon, had 3 Social Security cards, and was wed to several husbands who had died. He was ultimately charged with committing $8,000 in fraud and having 4 aliases. She was convicted of illegally obtaining 23 welfare checks using 2 aliases. She was sentenced to 2 to 4 years in prison. Now, okay, that's one person. Okay, and what certain people are able to do in the political discourse is take that one person and turn it into everybody who gets welfare. And that's what they were able to do. And specifically, when I say they, I mean a guy named, I'm specifically laying on somebody named Lee Atwater, who's dead. He was Reagan's campaign manager. But Reagan wasn't the only one who did it. A lot of them did it. Used race baiting and prejudice and fear, and took one. Now, granted, that woman broke the law. You want to take somebody like that, and you want to have a system where that doesn't happen, but you can't have a system. We don't have a perfect system. We don't live in a perfect world, and there's Linda Taylors out there that are going to take advantage of it. Does that mean everybody that comes to the door needing something is a Linda Taylor? No. It can't be statistically possible. But if you listen to conservative radio, that's exactly what they say. Now, if you listen to liberal radio, there are no Linda Taylors. That's the problem. Therein lies the problem. On one side, everybody's a Linda Taylor. On the other side, nobody's a Linda Taylor. Okay, there are Linda Taylors out there, but there are very few of them, and we shouldn't just wholesalely dismiss a system. Now we've got a system where you can't hardly get help, and if you need help, if you fall down, it's too bad, Jim. And I didn't ever vote for that system. I didn't vote for it. I can say I didn't vote for it, but anyway, that's another thing. I think there's a lot of people going to find this out that when their 401s crash. The Great Recession, the Great Depression of 2008. I've got a piece of property in Columbia County that has lost half of its value in 6 years. It hasn't gone up in value, it's declined in value. Half of it. There's been a recovery, but it ain't been much of a recovery. Now, people sitting around saying, well, Obama didn't do a good job. No, I don't think so. I think the hole was so damn deep, we ain't going to get out of it for a long time. Speaking of Obama, was one of my political things. I remember talking to a buddy of mine I knew in high school, and a few months ago, and he disturbed me by saying something. He said that he lives in conservative fantasy land. I think it really is. I think there is a place called conservative fantasy land. He told me he thought that Obama, the administration, was coming to take his guns and my guns. I own guns. That my guns and his guns and everybody else's guns are in danger of being taken up by the government. Now, Obama's been in power since 2008. That's 6 years. He's got about 1.5, 2 years to go. So he's out. He'll be out in 16. Now, are they doing this thing? I'm trying to figure out. If they're confiscating guns, are they going by last names? Because if I'm last names, I'm good. My last name starts with an S. If they're going by hometown cities, I live in a hometown that starts with an A. I mean, they ain't doing a good job. And my home state starts with a G. I should already be, And my Social Security number starts with a 2. And my phone number starts with a 7. I just keep waiting for them to come through the door one day. They better get on the ball. I don't think he comes before me, and I don't think they took his guns away yet. And he also thinks there's FEMA has re-education camps for people who don't want to go along with the program. Okay. Yep. Okay, that's my political moment for the moment. Let's see what else we're gonna listen to. Let's see, we can get into. Here's another shot at Honesty Bastards. That's a pretty good shot. I don't know what song that is. This is my personal favorite. I like Allison's there. Allison's drumsticks there. Let's see. What else have I got here? Okay. I don't know what that last one was. I don't know what song I was playing. It might have been Windy. Windy, I really have to think about what I'm doing. So, what we hadn't got into, let's see, what are we at, 40 minutes? Don't ever drink on the job. First rule of broadcasting school, don't ever drink on the job. Let's see, what's this? This is one of my favorite tunes here. This is Nat Wills.
I strolled in a cigar store once to buy a cigarette. It was after 2, the church bells they struck 3. I saw a young youth at the door with a look upon his face that said, "Give me a coupon if you please." "What is your name?" I said to him. He answered with a smile, "My dad is dead and that's why I am here." "I know you will believe me, sir, you wear an honest look." And then these words he whispered in my ear, "I'm saving up coupons for mother, saving green coupons for Ma. Since father did croak, we've all learned to smoke. We need all the coupons there are. So please think of Mama and I, sir, each time that you buy a cigar. I'm saving green coupons for Mother to purchase a tombstone for Pa." I bought a pack of cigarettes, I bought a stogie too. I placed the coupons in his trembling hand. And then I bought a pound of snuff and said I'd learn to chew. and save him all the coupons I could land. I pressed the coupons on him and I turned to go for more, and promised him I'd smoke myself to death. Alas, my help came all too late. He sank upon the floor and sweetly murmured with his dying breath, I'm saving up coupons for Mother. Please bring those coupons to Ma. We've all learned to chew and smoke Bull Durham too, since Daddy fell under a car. Tell Mother I died like a hero while smoking a Cremo cigar. I'm saving green coupons for Mother to purchase a tombstone for Pa.
Reuben, I've been thinking, said his wifey dear. Now that all is peaceful and calm, the boys will soon be back on the farm. Mr. Reuben started winking and slowly rubbed his chin. He pulled his chair up close to Mother and he asked her with a grin, how you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they've seen Harry? How you gonna keep 'em away from Broadway, dancing around and painting the town? How you gonna keep 'em away from harm? That's the mystery. They'll never want to see a rake or plow, and who the deuce can call Lou a cow? How you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they've seen Harry? Reuben, you're mistaken, said his wifey dear. Once a farmer, always a jay, and farmers always stick to the hay. Mother Reuben, I'm not faking, though you may think it's rain. But wine and women play the mischief with a boy who looks with shame. How you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they've seen Harry? How you gonna keep 'em away from Broadway, jazzing around and painting the town? How you gonna keep 'em away from harm? That's our mystery. They'll never want to see a rake or plow, and who the deuce can call you a cow? How you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they've seen Harry? How you gonna keep 'em down on the farm after they've seen Harry? How you gonna keep 'em away from Broadway, jazzing around and painting the town? How you gonna keep 'em away from harm? That's our mystery. You laugh at Reuben when he meets his farm. You kiss his teeth and holler, good guy.
Okay, let's see, what do we hear from? We heard from, last song there was from Arthur Field. How you gonna keep them down on the farm when they've seen Gay Perry? And before that we heard Nat Wills. Nat Wills was trying to get some coupons for Mother. Rather morbid, twisted little song there. I like this. Was sort of a Dr. Demento kind of song. If you like Dr. Demento as much as I do. Here we are into our come to our beloved segment here called Shit Record Covers, and make a few notes here. Okay, so Shit record covers. For you newbies and neophytes, what does that mean exactly? Well, it is a segment of the show where, well, let's back up a minute. Putting out albums, CDs, 45s, and 78s, and music, all kinds of music requires artwork. And let's see, that falls upon the shoulders and record companies of the A&R department. No, it doesn't. That's the artists and repertoire. I'm sorry. That's in the marketing, whatever the hell it is. Anyway, album design. And anyway, sometimes people in album design are stoned, lazy, stupid, mentally deficient, or any combination thereof. And or people who make albums to send in to companies are stoned, stupid, dumb, mentally deficient. I don't know what. Sometimes it's the fault of the artist who send them in. Sometimes it's the fault of the people in the record companies. People in record companies sit around and think up album covers, and they'll say, okay, well, here's a new Bob Dylan record's coming out, and it's called Tempest. What do you think? And so, what do you think? So, you get whatever you think they. I forgot what Tempest looks like. So maybe he has a little more control of his stuff, but let's see. Let's find somebody who didn't have control, or who didn't keep as good a control as he could have. Good old Elvis. I mean, come on. That's a shit record cover right there. So anyway, snarky people like me who collect records like to show off our shitty record covers, and we do so on Facebook. So I have gotten together with the people on Facebook and who run shit record covers. It's an open group. You may go join it if you so desire. In fact, I encourage you to go do it. They let me come in and talk about shit record covers, so I do. So let's take our first one here. Let's see. Let's just grab one. Let's see. Talk about this. Okay, there we go. Let's try that again. The keyboards of Henry Slaughter. Wow. I think Henry's got some issues there he hasn't dealt with. Anybody want to take a stab at what it is? Yeah. Anyway, the songs from Alleluia, that'd be an interesting one to look at, because we have an Alleluia community here in Augusta. Whoopie-doo. It may be that bunch of knuckleheads. But Henry looks like he needs to suck some pole there. I don't know. It looks like right here he's having some issues, some homosexual issues. Here's a good one. These two fools are always good for a laugh. Okay. There we go. We got to go through here and do a little work on these. Hold up a minute. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's go back over here to. All right. So we're getting into the Rangers Quartet. So the problem here we have is one where people can't count. Everybody count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we got a quartet. And this cross-eyed motherfucker over here just looks sad, and this guy looks like he has fetal alcohol syndrome. It's horrible. Let's see. Let's go back to this one. I thought this one was kind of cool. Even though it doesn't tell you much about who's on there, but it could be some kind of cool stuff on there. Maybe stuck around. Okay, let's go back to these buttholes. Who could believe that this is actually Tammy Faye Bakker before she turned into a drippy-eyed sponge with all the mascara, and of course she's probably, getting it up the ass and blowing choir boys off in the bathroom. But I digress. This one here, coming up next, is a real gem. This is what I want to try right here. I want to try home study flight instructions. I think I could learn to fly a fucking plane by listening to a record. I mean, I really do. I think I'm smart enough, and I think I can listen to it. And if I go back over it enough times, I think I can get it. If I can just study it enough, I can learn to take off and land one of those fuckers. I mean, come on now. You really got to give me a chance here. And who wouldn't want home study flight instruction? I mean, the rest of the catalog for the home study inventory was great. Home study appendectomy, home study cesarean section, home study brain surgery, home study cardiac surgery. A little tough, a little hard to some of the things are kind of hard to master. But but you can get it if you really hang in there and really, just apply yourself and burn the midnight oil. You can do it. You'll end up flying, man. If you take this home, if you get this record and you take it seriously, you'll end up flying. Now here's another one down here. Tip Conrad. I think this is a phony one. This is just too good to be true. What did you just say? His little summer dress. Baby needs his bottle. Little Johnny squirt a few. Something ain't right. Panties in a twist. Takes after your mother. My son Margaret. Yeah, I think that's made up. Yeah, but funny anyway. And this one is, I saved this one for last. This one is a real kicker here. I think Larry here is probably the son of probably the son of this guy right here. He's probably the son of one of these guys. I mean, this inbred motherfucker. This is an inbred motherfucker right here. This is probably his sister, Larry and Loretta. I mean, Larry he's probably waiting on the mail order school to send him. We're going to learn what 3 minus 5 is today. And he's going to learn how not to pee in his pants. Because Larry looks like he just would not really understand it if you told a joke. Yeah. A little on the dim side, Larry is, I think. Oh, and here's another one, Trooper Jim. Here's a good one. Here we go. Okay. 4 on the floor and a 5th under the seat. Bring 'em back alive. 4 chrome wheels and many others. Jim Foster, Trooper Jim. How friendly can you get? Oh, brother. Stab me in the eye with a fork. I mean, fuck. Ah, thank you. No, thank you. Go back to sleep. Anyway, that was shit record covers for this week, and we'll get back to some tunes here in a minute. But I need to say I'm your host, Will Scoggins, and this is the Voice of Harrisburg, and this is the 30th day of August, and it's anniversaries of some pretty shitty times. 6 years ago, my brother died, and 10 years ago, my friend I wrote this song for died.
I'm going to Kentucky in the springtime, when the flowers on the hillside bloom. I'm going to Kentucky in the springtime. I hope to see you soon. I dreamed of you the other night. Tried to kiss you, but you turned away. You whispered softly in my ear. Couldn't hear what you had to say. I'm going to Kentucky in the springtime, when the heather and the ice slips bloom. I'm going to Kentucky in the springtime. I hope to see you soon. Your children have grown and scattered in the wind, got babies all of their own. Time's growing short here on earth. They'll see you in a heavenly home. I'm going to Kentucky in the springtime, when the heather and the ice lips bloom. I'm going to Kentucky in the springtime. I hope to see you soon. Please come to Kentucky the springtime, when the heather and the ice lips bloom. Visit my grave on a lonesome hill. I hope to see you soon.
Baptized in the kitchen on the pool of my mother's blood. The dog danced in the attic while the ghost tracked in the mud. Outside in the distance, voices speak in tongues, and the orbs that swelled taunted glistening bells started bleeding into one. When it all comes down, you can wake me when it's over. When it all comes down, when it all comes down, you can wake me when it's over my head like a memory. Past begins to shatter as the hammer swings below. Pierced by the poison arrow, please be still my soul. Outside in the distance, the voices speak in tongues, and the orbs that swell towards a glistening bell started bleeding into one. When it all comes down, you can wake me when it's over. When it all comes down, when it all comes down, you can wake me when it's over my head like a memory. Begins from a bad beginning's end. Higher than the sun, melting into one. Outside in the distance, where you could see the writings on the wall. Standing on your feet at the edge of your seat. When it all comes down, can wake me when it's over. When it all comes down, when it all comes down, you can wake me when it's over my head like a memory.
Okay, let's see. We heard from me. I'm going to Kentucky. And then we heard from last song was the Black Hollies. And let's see, I forgot the name of the song. The name of the song is Wake Me When It's Over. Yeah, Wake Me When It's Over. Yep. So, you have been listening to the Voice of Harrisburg, and I am the Voice of Harrisburg, Will Scoggins, and we've had an hour and 10 minutes of pulchritude and despair for this Saturday night, and we're about ready to call it a night and roll up the sidewalks. Let's see. We will reconvene here next week. I think next week, yeah. Be September the 6th. And I hope to see you all then. Good night.